Good to see you, Bailey.
Hello there.
Is this one-on-one, or could they be present? Up to you.
Well, I don't care. I was just seeing what the hell you're all about with this. I saw you put your stuff up for the mayorship.
Yep, we wanted to make
And at
sure
the
it's
same
away
time,
from City Hall. Nice little underutilized spot. Bring some life to it. A lot of one-on-ones. I've been talking for like 10.5 hours.
Yeah, aren't you tired of it?
Not when I feel like I need to do this.
Fair enough. Well, instead of my side to it, or your side, instead of trying to convince people, because frankly, I'm just going to put it as frank as I can, is I'm probably not even going to vote in any of these because of my involvement with other things. So don't try to sway me anyway. Huh?
I wasn't planning to, Bailey. I already knew I had your vote regardless, so.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm not even going to vote.
Yeah, I'm winking, but through my polarized glasses.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. I guess on the side of that, as for things that you have heard, I think I'll just, as an olive branch, as to everybody else that is running, if y'all have any questions the next 2 days, because Wednesdays, technically, they will announce most of the stuff.
Oh, easy. I put my stuff up. When is the election and when is the election ending? Is there a date for those?
Yes. So the tentative right now, just let me, my phone pull this up in the calendar. Look. Yeah, let's see. I need a monthly view here, not a weekly. So they were announced today as the actual election, so people got the stuff in. That will close on the 14th. Starting the 15th, the actual polls will open then. Those polls will be open until the 21st.
Actually, write this down.
Okay. 22nd will be the first day. Well, I mean, technically, I guess the 21st, if they announce all, we'll announce the 22nd, one or two of them. I think we'll just figure that one out. I think we'll allow all until the 21st and announce on the 22nd. And then afterwards, we'll do a whole, swearing people in, announce the results, etc. And technically, being a Monday, they'll start the first day of the week and the first day of the new structure that we have.
Is there gonna be Constitution's gonna be in place on Wednesday?
Yes.
Okay. Is the mayor picking the chief of police and the sheriff respectively?
That was what has been discussed. I don't know if it's fully that yet, but that is majority of the discussion with it. It does seem to be going that way, but I can say, unless it's in writing it right now, then, I mean, don't assume anything until the writing's on the wall.
We've been, our campaign at least is trying to be pretty malleable. Transparently, I've been very upfront as well with a, hey, I might be involved in picking the chief of police. Let's find a middle ground so that there is a say in the event that is the case. But, we're making sure not to tie down on anything that's not definitive yet.
Right. Anything can change in the meantime, so don't take my word as law right now with it, because it's not.
Understood.
It has been talked about. It probably with, I don't know, 90% certainty, but there's a 10% chance that it isn't.
Is there is there intent for there to be federal law beyond the Constitution?
Wait, so let me step back with that. So federal law is not something that will typically.
Oh, state law. Sorry,
statewide.
Statewide.
So
there's a state constitution.
Here. Correct. Well, yes. The Constitution is a state, right?
Okay.
Now, the state will be giving powers. So think of this as like basically a org chart, right? The 4 powers that will be. We have the Department of Justice, which can enact statewide legislation. Right? We can do that without the other sides to this. Then you have Wayne County, you have Los Santos, and then what you're going to have is the medical board as well. And they'll deal with the healthcare side of things. Right? With that being said, all 4 of those technically on the equal level playing field. Right? Now, here's the thing. The 2, Blaine County and LS, together, if they agree on something, can then make it statewide.
That's inferred statewide, right? Because it's effectively statewide as opposed to it being upgraded to actually
Correct.
statewide.
Yes. We
So
are not
another
making
mayor could
changes
come in
on a.
and remove it in a county.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. If another mayor comes in and says, I don't want this, this is no longer statewide, this is only in Blake County, go ahead, they can. This does not get elevated to a level above that is equal to what the state will put out as such as the Constitution. That is the highest level that we have. Everything else operates on the level below that.
Okay. Makes sense. So what about state law though? Did you mention that already or
statewide law?
So this Constitution, is there statewide laws that are immalleable?
There will be ones that will be recognized from our side. And it's a good point. And I honestly just need a further discussion with this.
Yeah.
Ones that should be immalleable, yes. Or immutable, even.
Like, I could imagine, for example, felons need a gun. Or only felons cannot have guns. I could imagine that being statewide, right? But then, like, this business law, and that's like a big thing, right, for me.
Correct.
Is business legislation, I'm hoping, becomes non-statewide, because otherwise, with that being such like a big part of legislation, even regardless of where it is today, having like, because I think like as it currently, and I'm going to use that as a direct example, is like, I hate it. I think most people hate it. It's very draconian. My
way.
State owns 50% of it. Here's $1 million. They can just walk in there, check your business at any point. It's very guilty before proven. And personally, I do think businesses should be investigated, and there should be ways by which, like, the police should be able to enter into a business and search it. It may be ways like, I don't know, if somebody that's on that employee list is caught with, it hits like a serious charge, that should be leeway to go in. But at the same time, we probably don't want, someone checking a business for fun and discovering something, and then that's yikes. You get what I'm saying? And the current legislation is very much written that way.
So I'll give you a small preview with it.
Okay.
Is that oversight will be distributed for businesses to each jurisdiction. And then as well, at least for the approval side to that will, as it's set up, if you're familiar with it, the mayor typically in each one has given a power of approval. They will do so. Thank God. Then afterwards, the judge will do so as well. But the actual legislation will be down to the jurisdiction. And then if you distinguish, is it now the place of operation there? So if you put in your address and say, well, guess what? My business is up in Paleto. Fine, Plain County. You do your thing. If my business is down here, just say Milton Mods, then, well, they have to deal with the mayor down here. Those two separate ones, and they deal with the legislations there. I don't want, from my side, to dictate any legislation in terms of businesses. I want each side to feel dependent on the government governance that the mayor has put out.
Yeah, that sounds healthy. And I imagine the DOJ is also responsible for making sure, Nino doesn't become mayor and says, everyone gets guns, everyone gets their businesses, go, 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 go. Fuck, like, let's do anarchy, let's go.
Correct.
All right. All right. This is exciting. I can recognize how there's lack of excitement to change, but that's pretty typical.
It's one thing after another with changes, my friend.
Not
sure if you've heard, but I'll be the meantime, it isn't fully up and running, but I'll be taking probably for about 2-3 months or so the interim warden at the prison.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, good shit. That's so. I said you could be chief, and you decided to downgrade all the way down to warden.
Well, son, we have a group of individuals that are highly interested in putting together and running the DOC.
That's good.
And as such, think about it this way, right? We've said that each area has their own power, their own legislation that they can enact, whatever their own governance is inside of their cities. As such, we do have the same thing within the Department of Justice. DOC is going to be falling under the Department of Justice. I just want to make sure they're up and running and they actually do shit that they're supposed to and not fall into whatever the hell it was beforehand.
One thing I want to bring up, I imagine this hasn't been discussed, and this is kind of the vision I want to embark on, and I want to see lawyers get empowered and ultimately dictate. Look, I want to see the lawyers get empowered enough that they can manage their own bar licenses. I don't think it's going to happen right away. I think it's a trajectory I'd like to put them on with the hope that one day they can be a bit more self-managing and there can be a bit of a separation between the DOJ proper and those that are primarily focused on protecting their clients. Do you envision a world where that might be possible? And I don't I want to be very clear. I don't see this happening for like a while. Not enough lawyers yet. But
I don't disagree with you. Though let me just pick what you just said right there. Not enough lawyers yet. So that is something else that I've taken up and tried to discuss with the other judges as well. I understand that a lot of things that we do are generated from United States. Right? And systems that are established there. With that common laws there. And as you put it, not enough lawyers. So in the interim, we have, this hasn't been fully announced or published, we're trying to take a look at the barrier of entry for being a lawyer, especially within this city. Because it is pretty much acknowledged at this point that
I feel like Nino's already won.
Very,
regardless of if he becomes mayor.
Someone that is just trying to be that. We don't need objections that are out the wazoo, that are way above anybody else's head, that they're just trying to grasp what they can do. We're trying to put together basically a list of those objections that we will see and recognize here, as well as motions that we will see and recognize here as well. As well as templates for changing, modifying, editing, adding to the penal code there, as well as introducing new legislation. So you can hire, technically, if you get the mayor position, your own department that writes whatever the hell legislation for you. You just have to sign off on the end of it. Right? There's nothing to say that you can't. But it's your name at the end of it. But I want to make it so that people are interested in being such and trying, as you said, to get more lawyers and empower them even more. But in order to do so, I need ones that are actually interested and not being shut down in court because guess what? This is my first thing and I'm having 15 objections to it. I mean, I'm overwhelmed.
1,000%. 1,000%. I think there's another reason too. This is baggage from the last like 20 years. I hate these ethics boards. I think that they're I remember there's pockets of time which you may or may not be familiar with where lawyers get bored and they start going after each other with these fucking dog shit toxic fucking ethics board complaints to the point where it's just, you know, lawyers just say fuck it, right? I want to promote people wanting to do this, and only the most egregious cases they get, you know, like, look, let me throw it this way. if some lawyer is going and like passing information around, let him get fucking arrested. All right. If that means 3 times as many lawyers on the street, knowing that with 3 times as many, more may end up being fantastic lawyers. Some of them turn into judges, right? But if the barrier of entry is so high, not a lot of people may be up to the challenge of even jumping it, and then we're all fucked.
Right.
That leads me to a question, if I may.
Go ahead.
At the time of the election, Your Honor, who will be the sign-off authority on an individual receiving a bar license?
At this point, it's going to be the Department of Justice.
Will the mayor's office be considered a body to be considered to have the ability to drop someone's name to be fast-tracked into receiving a bar license?
I mean, that's not typically something that we have discussed. I mean, it just depends, honestly.
Yeah.
I'd like to, understand the reasons behind them.
Well,
I don't see why not, but in particular, I mean, it needs to also be, what's the, why is that person being it?
okay.
I don't mind individuals working within and establishing themselves. I have no problem with that. I would like to see more people with it. Just give me a reason. That's it.
Right. Well, a couple of reasons. One, I had brought up to the chief of police earlier. Perhaps police officers could hire their own paralegals, work with them internally on cases and things like that. And depending on the approval of the senior officers of those individuals, something where they could drop names of these people and attempt to get them fast-tracked into a bar license. Because I can tell you one issue on the ground as a lawyer is there's a feeling or vibes going around that it takes 3 to 4 months just to get a bar license of standing around, and sometimes sometimes that is the case, and sometimes it's not the case. But I know at least 2 or 3 paralegals that's scared away, and they've kind of and I don't know if that's a patience test or not. But I think that's the big scary thing that keeps me entering.
I'll be completely honest with you. I have never looked within the ball process itself. Usually others have handled that. I typically have been super hands-off with it. It's a good point. If you will bring that up, I don't see a reason why. I can look into it. It's never meant to be a patience test. That's not exactly something that I'm looking for with it. I mean, maybe we just go ahead and put someone in our department that actually heads it up that wants to do it and ask if someone actually wants to see it. But regardless, it shouldn't be just standing around. I'd rather see an actual individual do some work with it.
Absolutely, Your Honor. I think a lot of these paralegals I've seen have made attempts to do work, but just due to circumstances and the nature of the city we live in, sometimes people want to flex they have a lawyer, not a legal aid. You know what I mean? So legal aids and paralegals get called last, and some lawyers attempt to bring paralegals on board in the system. I know I always try. Anytime a paralegal approaches me, I'll bring them on any case, as long as the client approves, et cetera, et cetera. But even what we've heard from the chief of police and the assistant chief is, despite their policing issues, they also feel that there's not enough lawyers in the city for some other suggestions we had of establishing something to be known as either a district attorney or a special prosecutor's office that would simply assist the police if police elected to use them.
Well, once again, PD is in charge under Los Santos of Blaine County. If they want to actually make sure that they have a prosecutor unit, whatever the hell they want, I mean, go for it. They can hire their own damn one. Doesn't matter to me. That's their own decision. It's like painting a damn canvas with all the things that are a possibility.
Okay, so I guess what I'm getting at here is then if someone was brought forth and let's say a couple of us in the cabinet or a couple police officers brought forth a person and said, we would like to nominate this person or vouch for this person to receive a bar license. There's not going to be a situation perhaps where someone with the authority to sign off is going to say, well, they've only been a paralegal for 3 weeks or a month and 2 days. It's just not enough time.
I think to kind of interject a little bit here, I think there's a lot of malleability here still. And I think what we should do, Abby, is get something in place and then try to get the DOJ to buy into what we're selling. And I think that goes hand in hand with this kind of like bar association thing we've kind of talked about. In other words, like prove that we are producing individuals that would make very strong candidates. Enough so that maybe Bailey, Angel, etc., folks in the DOJ are like, you know what? These guys are bringing some good people, you know, insta approve.
Well, I would rather, like I said, plain canvas. Show me what you have.
Yeah.
That's more I'm at with this. You know, I don't want to be told what it is and what it can't be. I would rather be told what it should be and how we get there.
Okay. I think we can produce something. Is there any other questions we want to hit Bailey with? I feel like we got. Go ahead.
I have a couple. Mr. Bailey,
Yeah.
you can look at what I texted you later. Now it's up to you. That's just something I had on my mind.
I am cooked. Yo, boys and girls, we are 9 subs away to 2.5. Check your subs, check your resubs. Exclamation mark record, and it could use.
He sent me a
Spot
photo of
on
the
the
man from
rankings.
Hunger Games. What is his name?
President Snow.
Yeah, that one.
Dude, I am
You see
fucking.
it, right?
Bro, we've been going ham today.
Maybe at some point.
It's a crazy day back. The amount we've gotten accomplished is fucking insane.
I would literally love
Yo,
to see that,
Ganja,
and
thank you
you
for the
don't
prime sub.
understand.
Appreciate you.
I just want to say real quick, because you did mention the DOC, and I actually spoke with Scotty and Rick earlier, and I heard the meeting went very well.
I know, bro. 11 hours.
Scotty,
Man.
you know, and them will and has, you know, what they've done in the past, will do a fantastic job once, you know, we get things sorted out. Just to let you know. My question is, and it's quite simple, with it because of the.
I'm cooked and I'm watching. Yeah, I might wrap it up right after
Speak to
this.
some of them soon, actually, after this. Will the lifers in prison currently have the ability to go out and be brought by, you know, the PD or whoever to vote this election season?
You know, it's a great question.
How are people going to vote, actually?
It's a great point for discussion. I can't say, I actually can say I have discussed that a little bit.
Yeah.
It hasn't been something that, here's what I'm going to say with this is, if there's a need and we do want to establish those rights for individuals and
Chat,
as part of the Constitution, the right to vote and right to petition are in there.
Mm-hmm.
I only have so much energy.
Technically, do we have rights with it while they're in prison? Do they actually have the availability to vote? Do we actually?
Yo, Naughty, thank you for the 1 year.
Down here, those are all things that
yeah.
You know, frankly, I can't be put around it.
Yeah.
I don't have the answer for you. It has been discussed, but it hasn't been definitive.
Understood. Yeah, I was just curious because, you know, we're coming up on this election season, and I just wanted to see where we're at with
Yeah,
them.
they can't go anywhere. Exactly. Level 3 train, and we'll go meet the lifers today. Here you go. We'll put them up for sale.
I say we've already asked that.
I'm just going to be thinking in my head for just a sec.
Go ahead.
Sounds good to me. And if
I mean, with their side, like I said, they're to me good group of individuals that I have seen so far.
Oh yeah.
Now their ability to run something and to think about it, their enthusiasm's unmatched. I understand that. But when it gets into it and their availability to actually do this, can I see them do it well? And I asked them, I said, put together a list for me, your wants, your needs, and things that you could see yourself having or must have in the future, whatever the hell. I also want you to look at what are you going to do to staff it? How many? What's minimum? What's max? And is staffing occurs then? Is it because those group of individuals which are highly concentrated together, I don't know, you can count them like a founder of their own group, whatever the hell you want to do with it.
Yeah.
How do they interact with other people that they hired? Does that cause a social dynamic between those guards that you hired into it afterwards? Are they able to bring them in and foster a culture that is working or not? Before all these things are kind of just handed off. So that's why in the interim, like I said, I'll be there maybe 2 to 3 months, whatever the hell it is, before I'm like, all right, fine, I'll take a step back. And that's why in the interim, I'll just do the warden stuff.
Ah, okay. Gotcha. Well, I think, honestly, I think I'll be able to establish something pretty solid there, with the ones, that are currently there, as I've been speaking to them as well. And, I don't think they'll mess with you too much. Hopefully not. If they touch a hair in your head, let me know. I'll come down there myself.
Yeah, listen, I don't need to be strong armed. Come on now.
I know, no, I know.
As I've told many other individuals, the most powerful thing or weapon that you have are your words. And if you use them properly, you can get whatever the hell you want.
Absolutely. I think you're absolutely right. Thank you. Yeah, no, that answers my question pretty much. I just was wondering what may go on with them since you are taking that chapter on for a bit.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. It'll be interesting.
I'm a water baby. All right.
Any other questions, Ed?
Okay. Sorry, I was just thinking about something. How are people gonna vote?
The polls there in City Hall.
Oh, but I mean by like, does everyone get to vote for every mayor? Like,
In an ideal world, at this point, we would have the availability for everyone to be separated and by housing address.
oh,
At this time, we are most likely not going to have that availability. For this
So-
one, most likely yes.
so
Ones in the
everyone's gonna.
future.
Oh, I see.
Everyone gets a vote for per county, one vote each, right?
Well,
For now.
for now, yes. How I'd like to have this, and maybe we could have some of these things worked out. But for example, the apartments here, and one of the constitutional rights is right to housing, is that the apartments that are down here are technically registered, and essentially everybody would be
Naughty, thank you for the
registered in
1 year,
Los
man.
Santos, because that's where the government housing is. They all have an apartment there. Right? And hopefully, eventually, we could do the motels up in Blaine County, and
Oh.
you'll be able to register at that point of where your primary residence is. Like I
Okay.
said, to be
That's-
determined. Can't say.
That's
it's
gonna be
going to
interesting.
soon.
Interesting. Basically, essentially having, well, I guess it's a motel, not apartments, but up north for people to choose.
Correct.
Hmm.
These are all pie in the sky things right now, so don't take it as word is law again.
Yeah.
These are all things we're considering. You know, you can imagine we've had a lot of conversations.
Oh, I believe it. Like, if I'm exhausted, you guys got to be exhausted. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna need a
Fuck.
4 or 5 vacations soon.
I took fucking 3 days off, and I mean, we got a lot done today. I am fucking cooked. I've been going for like nonstop. Just a lot of it's a lot of input coming in, but a lot of like very detailed filtering, which I think is the more difficult challenge. You know what I mean?
Oh, of
Yo,
course.
Gizmo, thank you for the 18 months.
Those questions that you get asked and they're difficult to answer. I mean, I'm sure we've also thought about them as well.
Well,
It's not easy.
it's also very difficult to know like fact from fiction, emotion versus fact, embellishment versus truth.
Personal agendas versus goodwill.
Well, everyone's got a personal agenda, it seems. Oh my God. Man, the conversation you missed. It's like you got one party swearing everything's up and then the other party swearing everything's down. And it's like, well, how are you supposed to know?
Which one was that? PD right there.
Oh my God, Jesus fucking Christ. I'm
Go ahead.
I
give
mean,
it a take.
it's fine. I mean, Bill, I mean, we open up. How the fuck did Barrick and Ruby say that there's no fucking way that, like, okay, so on all these cops literally tell me, like, at least like 3 or 4 of them was like, it feels like there's so much pressure, we got to go to call. Otherwise, we get yelled at. And I brought that up during the thing, and that Barrick and Ruby were like, nobody believed it. Everyone was like, That's not happening. And so I bought into what they were saying. And they're like, yeah, you got to talk to the lieutenants. You know what? You should call McNulty. He's around. McNulty comes down here and he's like, yeah, that's a real thing. And I'm just like, wait, what? How the fuck? Like, what is happening? How do you have like the top saying this and they're like, go talk to the guy right below us, and the guy right below us like, yeah, no, it's the opposite. Like, what the fuck? Are they like, now I'm like, okay, there's no way they're saying the same thing two different ways.
Oh, but they are.
Abby, please, what do you think? What was your take on that? Because I've been stunlocked. Yeah, J-Town, thank you for the
I believe
2
they
years.
did not want to, admit any wrongdoing in a meeting situation like this. Who knows what they're going to go back and say, but
That makes me want to write him off completely. I'm going to be honest.
I feel like as leadership, they're trying to present things on the up and up, regardless if things are on the up and up or not. And sometimes that's good for motivation, but when
Jay, thank you for the 7
problems start
months.
to fester, that could be bad.
Aha, can he go? Exclamation mark record, boys.
I don't know if you want me to expound further.
No,
but,
no,
I'm
please,
not-
please.
Oh, go ahead.
David, thank you for the gifted sub.
It may be time for some fresh blood in the position, or a shake-up. And then who knows? Elections are an ongoing process. 3 months after that point, maybe people will have their head out of their asses and turn out to be better than the person who took over the first time, but they needed that wake-up call to realize what they were in control of. Because I feel like complacency could also be an issue here.
I think I agree. And my immediate thought is that even Barrick and Ruby may be conditioned from past iterations of the police department. Pure speculation. Where they feel like they are not allowed to be honest about what's happening in their department. When in reality, who gives a fuck, right? They're not like the FBI or the CIA, right? You need to be honest with the public. If shit's fucked up, it's actually okay to say that. And when you allow that mask to come off, especially when speaking about your department, it's okay to say your baby's a little ugly, or like, it's okay to be like, yeah, my kid, he's got a bad cough. You don't have to pretend the kid's like 100% healthy. You know what I mean? Is that making sense?
It does. We also have to consider the dynamic of the department there.
Hot dog, think of the
So
one
if you say
KB.
this time, for example, is you put it for New Blood Day. All their people that are their people. What's the majority there? Are they there because they support them? What happens if you remove them? Do you have a police department then? Do you then have to go rebuild it all the way from ground zero? These are all things that you have to evaluate the dynamics of the situation that you're in. It's not exactly as simple as just remove the head of the snake and you hopefully kill the problem there. It might become technical Hydra if you call it that.
3 more.
Uh-huh.
JB, think of
You
the
might
5
be
good day.
creating problems by just thinking that you solved one.
But it's, I think it's more the transparency thing, right?
Fair.
Like, I want real transparency. I think it's okay for the
Let's
chief,
go.
for a future chief, to stand in front of the public and be like, we failed you as a department. And that's not a bad thing. And if there are people within the PD that get in their, feels, and they're like, oh no, they said we failed at something, just whatever it is, right? Is healthy. I don't know. I just, I think honesty is important across the across the spectrum, even beyond the PD. Healthy discussion, being honest. It's what allows for conversations to progress, ideas to progress. I don't know. It was bizarre.
I don't know if honesty exists all that.
Miss
often
World, thank you for the
around
2
here
months.
anymore.
Anonymous, thank you for the gifty.
Oh, that's the need for transparency because of
Squawk,
that.
thank you for the 10.
Of course there is. Until, for example, you look at what the previous council was supposed to be doing things the betterment of the city and things that they have put forth and legislation that they have proposed in the last few weeks and say, oh yes, this is so much better. Things that close the holes are things that they have done. No shit. Ensure that others don't do what they did. What's the honesty in that? You're basically just saying that you explored the whole damn system and you want to close this to make sure that... No. Where was it to begin with?
Fuck. See, Archer couldn't even take it anymore.
Clearly not.
All right. Well, shit.
Alrighty. Well, anything else? So I'll be back to my office to go finish writing about 4 or 5 more things.
Well, I hope you enjoy. I think everyone appreciates what you've been doing. You have a...
This isn't just me, it's a department thing, so it's everybody.
It doesn't sound like too much
We as a
fun,
collective.
but, thank you for doing it, all of you.
Yeah, I'll pass the thanks on to all of them as well.
All right.
Alrighty. Anything else, y'all have my number.
Thank you, Justice.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Lifers' voice matters. That's right. Level 3 for the lifers.
Telling you,
Otherwise,
President
I am
Snow.
fucking cooked.
I'm telling you.